I had visited Lake Powell a long time ago, back in the 90s, and I was able to find these pictures of when I visited. And the one thing that you're going to notice is the white line, the white water line. You notice you can barely see it? My husband kept telling me that you have to go out and see Lake Powell. We have to go out there before it's gone. And for me to try and put that in my head, when I went out there in the 90s, about 1996, the dam, the water was up to here. So him telling me that this lake that was 700 feet deep and went on for 200 miles, that it was going to be gone, I really couldn't put that together in my head. We were finally able to find the time to fit Lake Powell into our lives. Back in the 90s, I was really young. You know, I was just starting out my career in corporate America. And so going out to Lake Powell and experiencing the houseboats, that was such an amazing experience. To this day was such an amazing, unforgettable journey. I use nature to recharge myself and to find my identity again. Sometimes it's so noisy in the city and around so many people. I get lost. I get overwhelmed by the noise. And I was listening to Gordon Hampton. He is a sound psychologist. I believe that's what he is. He talks about quiet spaces and that quiet places, they're calming because all the information is in. When you're in someplace quiet, all the information is right there and you don't have to worry about what you can't hear or the distractions hiding any kind of danger. And he had one quote that I really liked, and what he said was that silence is not a luxury, it's essential. He explained that real silence is about being present, and it's not about listening to everybody, and it's not about the absence of sound. To really listen is to finally become alive. And that's what nature does for me. So I have a lot of friends, even my husband, they always want to go out and go hiking with me. And I always kind of avoid it because when I go out into nature, that's when I find myself again and I regenerate and I'm able to come back into the world as a full, complete human being. And I'm able to be there for everybody around me. Yet finding those quiet spaces is not easy anymore. I think Gordon Hampton thinks there's only 12% of quiet spaces left. And back in 1996, when I was coming out here, those people weren't here. Nobody was here. No one came out. And so you had the whole desert to yourself. A lot's changed since I was out here in 96. For one, there's a lot more people that are coming out to visit. In 2017, about 5 million visitors visited Glen Canyon Dam. And let's compare 1972, whitewater rafters, 16,000 of them. And at that time, they found 16,000 people did enough damage to cause ecological changes in the Colorado River. Well, compare that to 2021 when they had 620,000 rafters. Part of making this vacation work for me was going to be finding a time where I could find that silence that I so desperately need. Finding a time of quiet in the canyon was going to be tough. And what we did is we chose November. And if you're looking for a quiet time at Lake Powell, I'm going to suggest look at November, December, and January. They're cold months. They're colder than usual. Maybe not snow, but they are cold. You also get the opportunity to get off-season rates. Back in 1996, I really did want to stay at the Lake Powell Marina and Resort, but it was too expensive for me back then. This time, it's a little bit less expensive than staying at a Marriott off season. And the rooms are really nice. I was really happy with the rooms. We made it here to Lake Powell Resort. Yay for us. And one of the things that you might want to know is that this is a national park. So there is a $30 fee to enter the national park unless you have your national park pass. So make sure to get that before you come down here. Now the restaurants only open for dinner, which was fine with us. It was a really nice dinner. Every dinner that we had was really nice. They were reasonably priced. And so that whole stay was a great experience. I want to tell you about some of the beautiful places that you can go visit while you're here. But before we do that, let's talk about the water levels because that's on everybody's mind. And it was on my mind after I saw it in person. So there's two water levels that they talk about at the Glen Canyon Dam, and that is going to be full pool, and the second one is going to be dead pool. Full pool is when the dam is at its maximum level, the most it can hold, and that was reached on June 1980 and hasn't been there since. Now, dead pool is the concern that we're facing right now. Dead pool is when the water is so low, it stops flowing through the dam. And that level is going to be 3,490 feet above sea level. Today, January 20th, 2023, the water level is at 3,524 feet. That's 34 feet above dead pool. And what does that mean? So let's put it in some context. Where were we last year this time? So last year, in January 2022, we were at 3,533 feet. So we were about 9 feet higher than we are now. Taking that into consideration, it could be 3 years and the dam is at dead pool where water cannot get out of the dam, nor can they create electricity. And that's a problem because I think that dam serves 4 million people. It serves a lot of Phoenix, it serves a lot of Las Vegas, and it serves a lot of Los Angeles. We're at a level 2 water restriction, and most of the people in the state don't even know that there's a water crisis upon them. In the community that I was in, nobody was aware that there was a water crisis. And you'll see that people around the area are aware of it. So the golf courses, you've seen part of the golf courses move to synthetic grass. And just this last year in 2022 was the first time that I saw golf courses had stopped watering. But it's not enough. We still are filling up man-made lakes. We're still filling up pools. We're still responding as if there's not a water crisis. Now, Scottsdale has been warning Rio Verde, a city just north of it, that they're going to stop supplying water to them. And they were forced to stop supplying when we hit the level 2 restrictions. Every building in Arizona, before they build, they're supposed to have a 100-year water plan for their community. Well, you know how that is. Even though you're supposed to do it, not all communities put together a 100-year water plan. Now, if you were somebody who is unlucky enough to buy into a community without a 100-year water plan, you could be in the same position that Rio Verde is in right now, where their water supply was cut off. There's your brief introduction to what's happening with the water at Lake Powell. So my husband's right. If you want to see Lake Powell with water, you might want to go pretty soon. And there is a lot to do around Lake Powell. And we were able to find quite a few things that didn't cost money. But let me tell you, we did identify two things that we wanted to do, and we were willing to invest in either one of them. And one was we wanted to get out on the water, or the second one is we wanted to go hike the slot canyons. We went with a tour on the water, and the easy part about that is now we didn't have to figure out somebody's boat. We didn't have to worry that they didn't keep the maintenance up and the boat was going to break down on us. We didn't have to worry about low water levels. It was just a whole lot easier, and it was inexpensive. It was $50 a person. We looked at doing a rental, and the minimum entry fee was like $500. And that just sounded too stressful. Then we looked at doing the slot canyons, and the tours into the slot canyons are really expensive. They're like $131 a person. So we were really happy. We found this great tour at Antelope Marina, and we were able to experience being on the water. But there's a lot more to do than just that. So let me tell you a couple other things that we did. We visited Horseshoe Bend, and everybody's seen the beautiful pictures of Horseshoe Bend. Seeing it in person, really amazing. Go even more off season than we did because we were 2 days before Thanksgiving and people were starting to show up into the canyon again. Before that, there was nobody there. So the other thing that we did is there's a lot of hiking around Lake Powell, and there is the Hanging Gardens. We didn't have time to go hike that, but that is on the south side of the bridge of the dam. And it's only like a 1 to 2 mile hike out there. You can do that. And then on the north side, there is the Beehive. And you can see these things were really beautiful. And we spent like 2-3 hours just kind of bumbling around here. And it was really quite a relaxing afternoon. If you want to stay at the resort, you can do simple hiking around the resort. And then if you are willing to drive a little bit, there's a number of things that you can see that will be 1 to 1.5 hours away. And what we did is on our way back, we stopped at Wupatki. There you have it, a brief overview of what you can do around Lake Powell Resort and Marina. And it is commercialized, yet you can still find your way around that and find your way to get back out into nature. So until next time, I will catch you on the other side.